Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick.
And my name is Chris. And Nick, what do we got in store today?
Today, Chris, we're going to be talking about Spark XRP, and specifically, we're going to be talking about the Spark distribution. We've got some news on that. It's going to be interesting, so do stick around. We'll obviously have a look at the markets, briefly touch on XRP charts, and then dive into to what's going on here with the Spark distribution. Talk about Spark price, speculate on a little bit of that kind of stuff. It's going to be fantastic. So, guys, if you do find it useful and informative, go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really appreciates it. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, Chris, should we quickly jump over to CoinMarketCap, give a very quick review there, have a look at the charts, and get right into Spark?
Yeah, sounds great, Nick.
Fantastic. Right, here we are on CoinMarketCap, and what we can see that XRP is slightly down at the point of recording this 2%. Bitcoin is slightly up here, and it's kind of a bit of a consolidating period for XRP, but it's still had a 10%, I guess, in the last 7 days, which is pretty good. Let's give that a click and see what's going on here. It's currently at 57.4 at the point of recording. Market cap $26 billion, trading volume 9.7 billion, circulating supply 45.4 billion. And the total supply 99.9, maximum supply is the 100 billion that we know. If we shoot on down to the bottom here, we can see the all-time high was $3.84. That was achieved on the 4th of January 2018. And I think January 2020, Chris, we might see just possibly a new all-time high. Really interesting. Sorry, 2021 is what I mean. I'm not even in the right head, am I? 2021, and we'll see potentially a new all-time high. I think that'd be an incredibly positive start to the new year. So this is what we're seeing on the charts, Chris, and it's really interesting actually. As I was just talking to you offline, we basically have, guys, on the XRP to USD daily, 3 candles that pretty much open and close at the same level, and this is very much an indecision moment here. No one's really understanding where to go at the moment. They're kind of, in my opinion, waiting for Bitcoin, waiting for things to kind of take off or go down. There, people are just hanging on to see what happens. There is, of course, the wicks, right? We can see the wicks here. But it's pretty much, very minimal amounts of movement. Very interesting. So yeah, interesting to see how that plays out, guys. I think we're going to be in for a very good, but at least interesting just start to the new year in 2021, Chris. I think it's going to be an interesting one. On the chart, obviously, we have the MACD here, right? So we can see that there's definitely a flip and a change from this downward trend into the new run, and again the blue is above the red, indicating that is more of a buyer's market. Now I have this RSI as well, guys, so I'm just going to scroll out so you can see this. This is a slightly modified RSI, as I talk about quite a bit here, and basically there's a kind of a trend forming, right? So this is on the daily. Now if I throw this into a weekly view, I think it is, you can see that there's this kind of like trend happening here in terms of what the bigger macro view is, right? And it's pretty positive from that regard. So really interesting to see how this plays out as well on the weekly chart. Now, if I just flip this back into a daily, we can also see at the bottom here, the stochastic here, that we're entering this zone, right? And this is a buying zone. So when we're down the bottom here, we'd expect selling to happen, and at the top, we're going to be expecting buying to happen. So we're literally on the cusp of something, I feel, with XRP as we enter into the Christmas period here and 2021. Chris, is there anything you want to talk about at this point on XRP pricing and the charts before we have a look at FLR and the Spark token?
No, nothing that I want to really sort of cover off on XRP. I think there's lots of chatter around the $1 mark, isn't there? And I've even seen on YouTube people talking about the $10 and the $20 that I think we covered the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's definitely some movement to happen. And one thing that's pretty consistent out there from lots of analysts is January 2021 is going to be an interesting month. Right, so let's get on into this, right? So the FLR distribution, which is 45.8 billion Spark tokens, which will be distributed to the XRP holders. So this is obviously, a startup company called FLR, which is backed by Ripple. Okay, so no one's shying away from that knowledge, and it's tracking how many Spark tokens it will airdrop to XRP investors in the first half of 2021. So one thing that's not clear here is when this is going to happen, but one thing that has cropped up is the rate or the ratio that's going to be distributed. So the token is part of a smart contract ecosystem that's designed to bring Ethereum type functionality to XRP Ledger, and most people should be familiar with that by now. Since taking a snapshot of the XRP Ledger back on the 12th of December, to determine which accounts are viable, the company has been combining through the results to determine just how many tokens it will hand out. And after doing the math and excluding Spark tokens from crypto exchanges that decided not to participate in the airdrop, FLR says it will airdrop a total of 45.87 billion tokens to XRP holders. And FLR highlights it will not issue Spark tokens to Ripple, which holds 54.1 billion XRP. However, FLR will give Spark tokens to XRP accounts dedicated to RippleWorks, a charitable organization founded by Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen. The funds will be distributed at a ratio of 1 XRP to 1.0073 Spark. So that basically works out that you have, for every 1,000 XRP you have, you'll end up with 1,007.3 Spark tokens. So you can easily just roll it up into your own math. Just whatever XRP you have multiplied by 1.0073, and you'll end up with knowing just how many Spark tokens you will have in total once they do the full distribution. So the coming airdrop, supported by dozens of crypto exchanges, is set to happen early next year once FLR network is up and running. No dates on this yet, guys. Really waiting for that news to come out. It's going to be an interesting one when we actually get a concrete date on when this is happening. The other thing to bear in mind is you're only going to be distributed 15% of the Spark tokens up front, and then there's going to be somewhere between 1 and 3% distributed to you every single month for up to 3 years. So definitely want to watch out for that if you're unaware. But basically the idea is that we don't just have a mass ditch or dump on the Spark tokens the second that people get them. They wanted to kind of encourage a more thriving environment on FLR network. So in order to do that, limited the initial drop, which completely makes sense, doesn't it, Chris?
Yeah, it does. We would have just had lots of dump going on, wouldn't we? So yeah, it's all good in my views.
Absolutely. And the other part to this that I find interesting, if there's only 15% actually distributed up front, and let's say there's 45 billion that they're going to be distributing, then 15% of 45 billion, think about it's got to collateralize XRP, right? So if there's going to be basically a lot more XRP in existence than Spark at the birth of the network, if you want more than 15% of your XRP to be put into, or minted into FXRP, what does that mean for the price of Spark tokens? Considering you already need 2.5 times, Spark in terms of that ratio anyway. I do speculate on the price of Spark, Chris. I think it's going to have to be quite considerably high in order to be used as collateral for FXRP. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, before we start on my thoughts, the thoughts that we see on Twitter, we see sort of on YouTube is sort of around the $1 mark. But there was that platform that was doing an IOU version that was trading at $2.30, I think, Nick.
It was something like that. Yeah, I'm sure it's $2.30 for a moment.
Yeah, so you look at all of that side of things, and it is kind of in line with what we were reading in the white paper, right? And I think you articulate it quite well. If it's gonna, if you're gonna use some collateral, against your house, you wouldn't be able to just use, I don't know, a box of chocolates or whatever it might be. It has to have a similar sort of value, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the banks wouldn't give you a mortgage for a house if you're only going to put up your mobile phone as collateral. It doesn't quite work that way. So it can't be, you know, it has to be of substantial value in order to be worth or to be utilized as collateral. And obviously, you know, the equations in the Spark white paper is definitely something that I recommend everyone checking out, because it kind of gives you a bit of an idea as to how this thing works. So n is a variable that changes, and n relates to, you know, an XRP. So it could be that n equals 0.5, right? So XRP is a 0.5 of a Spark token, right? So 2 XRP equals 1 Spark, right? But then obviously you still need 2.5 times the Spark, right, to be utilized as collateral. So to me, the reason that n has to change so much and has to be, you know, a variable of consideration is there's only going to be 15% in comparison of Spark tokens in comparison to XRP. And I can't imagine that someone would launch a network and then cripple the amount of use case it could have by not allowing as much XRP onto the network as they possibly would allow it, right? So in order for that to kind of work in my head, it means that Spark has to be of a significant value to be used as collateral for a large number of XRP. So therefore, you know, you need less Spark to be used in collateral because of the value of Spark against XRP. If that makes sense. It makes sense to me. Hopefully that makes sense to some of you guys in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. But that's my thoughts on it. I think, you know, a bare minimum would probably be double the price of XRP. I would have thought, you know, if XRP is $1, I'd expect Spark to be a minimum of 2. That's kind of my premise at this point in time. And then obviously as more Spark goes into the ecosystem, the price would then obviously reflect that as well. At least the equations within the FLR networks would have to. But yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. I'm pretty bullish and confident on Spark token, Chris. I think it's a really positive thing for the space. You know, price aside, I think you know, they're really heavily incentivizing people to actually take part in the network and to earn more Spark tokens by doing so. So that's the camp I guess I'm sat in.
Yeah, I'm sat there with you, Nick, camping together.
Fantastic. So guys, if you found this useful and informative, do go ahead and smash that like button for Chris. He really appreciates it. And if you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the videos and live streams that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with that being said, we hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, take care.